How's it, everybody? Guiltglink here. We are back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are continuing our takedown of the new Red Zone Broly with various different teams. In our previous video in this series, we did take it down with the Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta team, the Future Saga Fused Fighters team. So now we are trying it with Rose, the Super Bosses team, right? Arguably one of the tougher teams to build a team around because obviously Rose is a Carnival LR, so we can only work with Super Bosses here. So we're going to try this out. We're going to see if this works. So, I mean, we got Broly here. We got Kale and Cauliflower. We got Hit. Hit is actually a surprising ringer in this fight. The more I've kind of done a couple of rounds here, like just because he has time to get his stacks up, the Supers are still a little dangerous, but the dodge and the build up for him does work really nicely. Plus, you know, with the way that the final phrase of Broly works here, you know, having that Usher is very, very helpful. So yeah, we're gonna test this out here. I'm gonna try as hard as I can to keep Broly and KFC together because they, you know, I think they actually share like 4 links, so it's really helpful. So if we can, we'll see. If not, you know, is what it is. There we go. Look at that. Okay, we get a decent amount of damage here, but it's honestly better if we don't, right? The nice thing I do like about the first phase here is she's actually kind of tanky, which is really great. If you remember, that was one of the best things about the Omega Shenron event, is the Breath of the Shadow Dragons, is that he was really tanky in phase 1, and so that allowed your teams that needed to build up the ability to build up as long as they didn't get sealed. And thankfully, he doesn't. This Broly doesn't seal, but still, nonetheless, right? The purpose of this series that we're doing with all of the GDC characters and probably a few TURs, like if I can get the Tau run, I'll be really happy. So if you got Tau and you're listening to this, put him as your friend, please. But the purpose here is to show that it ain't time to write this fight off yet. This is actually a pretty decently challenged long fight. Well, medium long, right? It's a pretty decent challenge. It's longer for some teams than the Jiren fights were, and it's certainly significantly harder, right? It fixed the problems that I had with the Jiren's fights. Yeah, here we go. And then here comes Int Hit to get his build up. Now, we are floating him, which means we have, and there's only 2 attacks in slot 3 here, which means we will have to wait a turn before we can improve him, which, I mean, is fine. He's not really my main rotation unit here. I'll probably do a run with his lead and keep him as my main rotation unit, because he is, he's got a pretty decent team, if you guys remember back from the Jiren days. So it would be, I would be interested to see how a double hit team can handle this. But we'll see. Oof. Ouch. Yeah. Turn 1 kind of rough, obviously. Yeah. So I mean, we have 2 protector mechanics here for this fight. We have Golden Frieza and Gogeta. Obviously focusing more on using Golden Frieza here since this is a full extreme team. Well, except for Kale and Cauliflower. But full extreme team here. Yeah, so I'm popping Kale and Cauliflower in front here. Hopefully we can get some stacks here. We only got 1 hit last time, because remember, her additionals is conditional to having Universe 6 on the rotation, and I mean, we don't have that, but you know, we did manage to proc an additional super here, so they still stack kind of fast, even with like 1 to 2 supers per turn, so that's fine. And then Broly, well, I don't know, maybe it was bad that we didn't let Broly build up, but then killing Cauliflower, right? This is a tough call. I think maybe getting the stack on Broly was probably better. There we go. Okay, and now phase 2. This phase I hate the most. That right there. That's why. Okay, well, and we didn't, I think I only have a Pausasaurus tail, so we can't even use like a Senzu Bean to unlock it, so let's just roll with it, I guess. Yeah, this phase locks, and I always hate when it's second phase locking, because you spend the first 2 turns getting yourself set up, and then, you know, he goes and screws it up, but whatever. This is fine. Now, if we're really lucky, we're going to take a hit sometime here in the next 2 phases, and we'll be able to get below 60% for the... Well, actually, is it 60% or is it 60% and below? That's what I need to check. For Zamasu. Like, I would like to be able to use Zamasu's super, or not his super, but his active skill when we're 60%. Because again, we can deal... Yeah, okay, it's 60% or less. So we should be able to... So if we can fall below 60%, then we should be able to... We can get those big damage numbers, right? Okay, here we go. Okay, not bad. And then this will allow AGL Rose to get some build up too. Remember, he builds up by attacking, as well as being attacked within the turn for his damage reduction. But we do obviously want to build up some attack by getting those attacks in. There we go. Very nice. And we get one more super here. Excellent. Perfect. Oof. Okay, yeah, see, this is why I hate the locking so much. Because look at how many attacks are right there in slot 1. Look at that. Look at the amount of attacks in slot 1. That would have been perfect for Broly to get some more build up safely. But no. Alright, well, okay, thank goodness we get the 50% dodge. So next, oof. Yeah. Oof. There we go. Oof. Okay, well, only double digits on that one. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, keeping the rotation together would have been, or at the very least, not locking Broly. At the very, well, I mean, I guess locking hit wouldn't have been good either. Yeah, keeping that slot 1 open, that's what we would have needed, so that way Broly can go with slot 1. I feel like this is going to come back to bite us floating Broly here, because now he's not getting a lot more of his build. Yeah. This might come back to bite us. Hey, but the good news is, hit will be improved the next time we see him. Hooray! Alright, well, Kale and Kafla, we do have hit on the rotation, which means we should have a guaranteed additional super here. Or is it a great chance? I can't remember. I would have to pull them up and check. Okay, it's a great chance. Dang it. Alrighty. Alright, here we go. So Broly's probably going to finish this round off for us. Alright, and into the fun phase. Alright, now we have to deal with the AoE and the increased super attack, which I believe his super attack now is like 3-point-something million, I think. Alright, so good thing is we can still dodge. He doesn't cancel dodge yet, so I know there's going to be a super here in slot 1, so we're just going to go ahead and grab all them pretty key spheres with our boy Gogeta here, tag him in, and then we'll send off the other rows. Now I'm keeping both of them in the rose form, so that way they can stack their attack, right? We need as much attack as we can get in these final phases, otherwise we could be in trouble. There we go. So we do get our dodges, obviously, that's what we wanted. And now we're going to let Gogeta do his thing, right, with 10 key spheres. More than 10 key spheres, we have guaranteed dodge against this, against whatever boss. Obviously in the next phase that's not going to happen because the next phase he cancels dodge. But here, we're still good. There we go. Perfect. Nice little run here. Beautiful. Alright, and now we got Rose here building up. No links active, really, right? Because we don't have our big bad bosses because Rose got sent off. So we just gotta kind of roll with this. But hopefully, yeah, okay, we're double digits here. That's nice. Otherwise, I expected that. Excellent. And 30 million with no links active. That's pretty good. I don't know, maybe. That's pretty good. Excellent. Okay, we get another one. Okay, and now we can improve our hit. So let's go ahead and use that active skill. And we'll save, obviously, his active for the next turn. And we'll just bank on some dodges here. So we're going to leave Rose here since we have another Rose coming on to this rotation. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll leave Rose here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, let's take that. I want to kind of try to avoid I guess we can take these with Cannon Cauliflower. Yeah, I want to try to avoid getting the Dokkan attack until the final phase, obviously. So, there we go. Oof. Only took a little bit. Okay. Okay, remember, he has 70% challenge and ever increasing. Okay, we're in a safe spot now with hits. Okay, dodge the super. Yes. Okay. Alright, and now Hit can do his thing. Now, obviously, he's not in the best position in terms of links and offense, but we don't need him to be offensive for his role on this team, right? We need him to just be able to provide that usher for us in the final phase. Our offensive characters are obviously Rose and Zamasu, and then Broly, and then Kefla to a degree, although she's been avoiding super attacks like the plague during this run, so maybe not. I also want to try a full Universe 16 with this one, right? With using the Fizz Kale and Cogfly. I feel like that could be a fun run if we could set it up. It might be a little tough because, right, no one can dodge, but if you've got the hits, it could be okay. Right, to just, like, if you run double hit and just cancel out 2 turns worth of attacking, I think between the Kale and Cauliflower and the Kefla, you should probably be okay, theoretically. Okay, here we go. Okay, I mean, 15 million is not that bad, I mean, all things considered. But we aren't killing this turn. We're actually spending a lot more time in this phase than I wanted to. Yeah, see, like I said, avoiding super attacks like it's the bubonic plague. Jesus. Alright. Alright, so I guess at this point we just toss Broly in, let him get that build up, let Gogeta dodge the AoEs, and then let the Rose go. And there goes the super, of course. Of course, it's the first thing too, right? Oof. 280k. Him not being built up all of this time definitely did a number. But we should be pretty good for the next round, though, for sure. There we go. 40 million. Nice. And good God, why are people not doing additional supers this run? What is going on? Alright, well, first phase, the final full power Broly phase, and of course, oh, we are 60%. Oh, actually, you know what? Taking that super was great. Alright, good job, Broly. Missing super attacks helped us, so let's go ahead and let's pop that Zamasu active. It's going to be stronger since we are 60%. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, and then now, let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. And so now we have a free turn with hit. Excellent. Alright, so now, yeah, and since we were started the turn below 60%, even though we healed, we should still have the buff with Zamasu. So there we go, and then, yes, okay, we don't get the Dokkan attack here, perfect. I was just like, wait a second, if we get the Dokkan attack with AGL Rose, that would suck. But no, this is perfect. Okay, so we're probably not going to kill this turn, but then next turn we have Golden Freeze is active, but then next turn we have Golden Freeze is active, as well as Broly's, and then Kefla should be coming on, so we can transform Kefla as well. This is perfect. Okay, wait, this is actually really good. This is going to be a really good turn. We're going to do a pretty good chunk of damage here. Look at that, 111 million. No support at, well, okay, we got Rose support. AGL Rose's support, that's it. There we go, beautiful, 85 mil. We get the additional super. Now, so what would have been really nice is if we had the other roads on this rotation. But of course, if we had done that, we wouldn't have been able to use the hit active, so. There we go. Alright, well, 17 mil on hit. He's going to build up to about 30 mil if we get all of our supers here. There we go, 21 mil on the next one. Perfect. Here we go, 27. Okay, not bad, not bad. Nope, there's the normal. Okay, yeah, so the last one would have been 29, 30 if we had gotten it. Okay, perfect. And then now we're ready for our final. Ooh, look at that. Okay. Now, if only we weren't getting the Dokkan attack here, we could put Kefla in front, and then we could keep all these amazing links with Broly. But, yeah, we're not going to do that. So, let's start by using Broly's active. Beautiful. Alright. Okay, so we took out a pretty good chunk here. Let's transform Kefla now. Alrighty. Ooh, wow. Okay, we dropped one leg by transferring. Maybe we shouldn't have. Maybe we should just left them for the link battery. Okay, I mean, it's a little bit better, but we are going to use Frieza's active. That is the better play here. Alrighty. Okay, so now let's do, yeah, let's just let Broly get the, just so we don't screw anything up here, let's let Broly get the, let's let him get the yeah, one link's not gonna do it. Let's let him get the Dokkan attack. Too risky, right? Too risky. Because I already know Golden Freeze is going to take some damage from these supers with the amount of attacks that we did prior. There we go. Alright, a little bit better. Okay, at least it wasn't the very first hit. Ooh, 280k, that is rough. Oh, and then we get a second one. Ouch. Like, immediately. I was hoping there was another gap or something in between the two. 160k, right? So building the defense helped a little bit. Alright, here we go. So let's grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Alright, Broly, do your thing. Go ape. Yeah, so Broly not exactly in the best position. He's missed quite a bit of build. See? Yeah, that would have killed, too. And then, of course, we get an additional normal. And another additional normal. Dude, why are we avoiding supers? Come on. Okay, here we go. We're avoiding so many supers. What is happening? Okay, there we go. Last really, that's how you're going to end it for me. You're going to end it with a normal. How anticlimactic. Alrighty, so there you have it, folks. There is the next of the GTC LRs up against the Broly. As you can see, not exactly the easiest of tasks here. It is it is challenging, right? And I'm not sure why people are so quick to write this off. I think people just like toxicity when it comes to fights like Rose and Zamasu in the special battle, because for a medium to long fight, this is pretty challenging, as you saw, right? Like, we could have very easily, if we didn't have Golden Frieza's target, we could have very easily lost that second turn because of the way Broly works. I think it's a very well-designed fight. I think it's fun, and I don't think we should be quick to write it off, and that's kind of the purpose of showing this with these characters. Like, yeah, you can do it, but it's still a bit of a challenge, right? This, you know, a lot could have gone wrong here, especially in that final phase, and I do appreciate that for for what it is, right? And, you know, about not writing it off, if you guys remember, right, 8th year anniversary, a lot of people wrote off Sen almost immediately from the birth of the Shadow Dragons. It wasn't until people started using other teams aside from the 8th anniversary teams that they started to realize, oh yeah, there's actually a challenge here. And I feel like this is the same case here, right? If you used Broly and Golden Frieza and Gogeta, of course this seemed very easy. Heck, even for the Blues, it's pretty easy. But once you start venturing away from those two teams, you start to see where the challenge is. And, you know, that's why I don't want to write this off. And I'm probably going to continue this with a few other teams. So, and guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and in the comments down below, let us know what other teams would you like to see up against Broly. Like I said, we're going to be doing all the GDC LRs and a few of the other teams that we enjoy running, just to kind of see where the challenge is for those teams. I'm already kind of feeling it for like Tao and Kid Goku's team, but I'm curious what you guys think. Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.